Who's thinking about you now? If you were building a wall, or who would tear it all down and pull you through? Or who's thinking about you?
Welcome to Thoughts. I'm your host, Josie James, and this is a friend of mine working who unfortunately lives on the streets. This episode is about homelessness. Now, I'm going to be later on hopefully talking with someone from Faith Mission. Right now, I'm going to be talking with Ricky, who's been homeless for how long now?
4.5, almost 5 years.
Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to warn you about, you're going to have to speak up a little bit more clearly, because that's why I'm doing the double sound. It's okay.
Not speak loud.
Okay, but that's why I've got this here. It should pick up the sound on you. Okay. I'm going to turn this around like this, because as you all know now, I'm doing the double sound system, so my interviews can be heard. What initially led up you becoming homeless?
I didn't want to get a job when I was living with my mom.
How old were
and
you?
her boyfriend. I was 21. And then all of a sudden, I started working for him and everything and trying to bust my ass. 3 days later, I got kicked out to live with my grandma. My aunt, mom's sister, didn't like it, so I left my grandma's house and I went and started living in a tent. Since then, this is the way I've been living.
Okay. Kind of give us a feel for kind of what your day-to-day is like.
Well, usually you can wake up anytime you want. You can go dumpster diving late at night to make your money. The main things you look for when you're dumpster diving is like aluminum cans, steel, iron, any type of scrap metal. Or if you know business owners that are looking for certain things, find that in the trash, take it to them, and make money. Some business owners pay you cash, some give you store credit. Me, I can get either or, because I know plenty of store owners.
Now, I do know you're trying to resolve your situation out where you're no longer homeless.
Yes. Now, the whole business economy thing, where everybody that's homeless says, oh, the business economy sucks, da-da-da-da-da. Granted, it does suck. But if you're really wanting to get a job, and you're really trying hard to get a job, there are people that will hire you. Like there's Labor Ready. You can go to Labor Ready and get a job. You can go to TLC out on Broad and Yale and get a job. Granted, you'll be doing a Rumpke, but, hey. Or even warehouse jobs.
Now, as far as affordable housing goes, what do you think about these condos springing up that no one is renting?
Well, honestly, I think Mayor Coleman is just wasting money building condos, tearing up land where the homeless can live. And a lot of these churches that say they don't have tents and they don't get tents in too often, oh no, they get tents in, but they also get bicycles in. They're a non-profit organization, but yet they want to sell the bicycles for $25 and you get a lock with it. I'm sorry, but non-profit means you can't sell that. Even to the homeless, you shouldn't be selling that. If you're non-profit, you should be donating it back to the homeless people. Just like you do your food. You want us to sit through a church service to get a meal. I'm willing to sit through a church service, get a meal, or a bicycle. I'll take a bicycle over a meal any day. Because I can travel over to my mom's, or I can go out and I can make money. I can go to a job interview with a bike and a lock. There's plenty of things people can do. Like the pantries. I don't understand how homeless people are like, oh, well, can you help the homeless? I'm hungry and I'm homeless and hungry. Well, homeless and hungry, let's see, there's plenty of pantries in the city. You shouldn't be hungry. There's plenty of churches that feed in the city. You really shouldn't be hungry.
And thankfully there's also places like the Sandwich Line, there are places that they don't give you a sermon and they do feed. They're more worried about right now getting you on your feet. And these are church-run organizations. They're more concerned about getting you on your feet than the hope that you'll come to the church once you're back on your feet. So there are the good and there's the bad, and there's those that think they need to preach because they've got to save your soul.
I mean, granted, the Samsung does a little prayer before they feed you, but they're more or less just praying for your well-being. They're not sitting there like, oh yeah, well, we're going to preach on homosexuality. Okay, Columbus is the city of homos. No offense to any gay people, but
My viewers know about me, so it's no big deal.
this city is a homosexual developed city. Me, I'm straight. I like women. But I have tested my sexuality, I'll be honest with that. And I mean, I've come to realize that I like women a lot.
Okay. Now, the main issue is, now, one of the things, and I have to find my stats on this, because I do have some notes that I need to cover. And yes, I'm a mess today, people. This has been an interesting day for me so far. Some notes on homelessness. As you know, I've been doing my research. That's domestic violence. We already covered that. Okay. Now, homelessness, there's currently 100 million people worldwide that are homeless. 75 to 80% are male and single. As far as homeless youth goes, 40% are either lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Now, it's mainly thought to be caused because of economic stress and a reduction of a formal economy, and this is very true. There are associations that are helping. There's www.columbushomeless.org, and I'll be posting this on the bottom. There is the Columbus Coalition for the Homeless. There's the National Alliance End Homelessness, which is www.endhomelessness.org. And I will be putting this down on the bottom of this for this. But the issue isn't just regional. It's not just some small. It's worldwide. And the sad thing is, here in the United States, more people manage to save up the money. They want to buy a parcel of land, and they're not allowed to because of where it's at. Or we want you to buy here, and it's in crummy neighborhoods, things like that. And they're just wanting to start fresh. They may have had the money. Now, one interesting thing I will talk about briefly. There was a gentleman who, strangely enough, there was a place called the homeless shelter. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the shelters now are federally funded, and they're told who they can and can't let into these places. The homeless shelter, strangely enough, is not federally funded, refused to be federally funded because of that. If someone was homeless, they were helping them out. It didn't matter. They're now, unfortunately, without a building because the state played some games on them. They're currently trying to find a new building. So if you know Ken and his wife, and they're trying to find a place and you happen to have a place to help them out. It's rather a sad thing to say today that there's still homeless people in tent cities and places you would not suspect. Look at any wooded area. If it's really cropped up, there might be somebody living there because they have to. They've got no choice. Okay. Now, so, was there anything else you wanted to add about this?
Yeah, a lot of the homeless people that fly the signs, they're flying the signs to get drugs and alcohol. They put on there that they're homeless and hungry. Like I said before, there's no reason they should be hungry. Now, I'm not trying to bust anybody's balls about it. I mean, help them out. I mean, they're trying to get their drugs and their alcohol, their habits. Me, I chew chewing tobacco. If you see me and you happen to have a little bit of extra money, please help me out because I do need chewing tobacco. I am a redneck, I'm a juggalo, and I love my chew.
Okay. Now, this is it for this segment, and next segment should be me talking with Faith Mission, with one of the people who work there, to find out what their stats are and what their stats are specifically for here in Ohio. And put this as a challenge. As I said, there are organizations that you try to help out. If you know of a local organization, whether you're here in Ohio or in another state or even in another country, help. I know way too many people in this type of situation. Sadly enough, I've been there. I know the feeling. So this is Thoughts for Now, and as I said before, and I'll be saying it again, think for yourself. Judge both sides of the issue, and make up your own mind. Don't let some loudmouth idiot make a decision for you. This is Thoughts till the next segment.
Who's thinking about you now? If you were building a wall, or who would tear it all down and pull you through? Or who's thinking about you?
Welcome back to Thoughts. With the prior segment, as most of you probably noticed, everything is fuzzy and his face is covered. Originally he was going to just let his face be seen, and then Ricky decided against it, so I fuzzed it up and covered him up. Now, as far as the second part here goes, this was supposed to be an interview with someone at Faith Mission. I ended up talking with a Shannon Easter, who apparently is their director of relations or something like that. The answer was no. No interviews. For a little YouTube show. Thank you for taking an interest in the homeless, but I can't wait till this Hurry 7 goes to a radio show. This is going to be funny. Because then I'll call him again from the radio station and say, would you like to interview now? Taking from personal experience and things I do know about what's currently going on in the various homeless shelters, and this is what makes me mad that I didn't even want to interview. Are they afraid of crossing paths with the politicians who are pretty much taking their money away from them to put into condos? I'm not afraid. What are they going to do? Give me a condo? Ugh. Currently, and originally, most of the homeless shelters provided 90 days. You know, you've got a bed, you've got a place to store your stuff, you've got 3 square meals, and they have a job hunting facility. If within 90 days you found a job, they would extend you out, giving you enough time to save up to get a place of your own, and they would help you find a place. Thanks to budget cuts, thanks to a supposedly Democratic mayor, yeah, right, Democrat in my eye, and a Republican governor, why do the Republicans always seem to cut funds to things that are actually needed and hurry up and give money to stuff that's not needed? Like filthy rich people who don't need the tax cuts. I guess it's their rich, greedy buddies. That's why I like the responsible millionaires. Now, I'm on to some, but I was saying, currently with the homeless shelters, well, here in Ohio anyways, that 90 days has been cut down to 30 days. Yeah, 30 days. I don't know how many of you are currently out there job hunting or just trying to get on your feet. And if you're lucky, you've got a relative that, hey, you're in Lake Flynn. Not everybody can do that. So 30 days. And Lord knows half the time as far as foods go, things like that, meals being served, that's actually various churches coming in and helping out. You know, and serving the meals and trying to help. One thing that makes me mad is, as far as the actual homeless problem goes, it's an estimate that there's 100 million people worldwide. That's right. That's actually fairly sad, because I'm sorry, I don't care where you're living at, unless you're in some really rich, hoity-toity area. There's more homeless than that. These are just estimates. And something has to be done to help these people, so they don't end up in jail, so they don't end up getting locked up for vagrancy because they can't afford a place to live. Maybe I'm a bit of a leftist. I always thought of myself more as right in the middle conservative, and that's why I try and keep things. But sometimes it's up to us individually to actually help people. And if we can, we should. You know, so all them Christians out there crying about gay marriage. How about starving children? How about helping homeless people and stop worrying about whether 2 people are going to get married or not? Okay? How about be what you claim to be, and that's a Christian? And then the same goes for anybody else of any other religion who wants to let hypocrisy come out of your mouth instead of helping people who need help. I have yet to see one faith that said, starve the poor, rob the widows, beat the children. As unfortunately, Faith Mission was not able to come through on an interview. I would have loved to have talked with somebody who has a little bit more official data, especially here for Columbus, Ohio. From what I'm seeing and what I have seen, there have been a lot of games played in the mayor's office. He's got some little lias in his running around talking about, well, we can help you get a place. Just tell us where your tent site is, and I'll come on down and bring the cops and raid you straight up out of it. That's helping the homeless? Well, let's take tax money and build more condos that we don't need in this city. We're not crammed for space. We're a big, beautiful city. Beautiful houses all over the place that are unfortunately boarded up. Houses that homeless people could be living in. So I'm going to repost up the www.columbushomeless.org and the www.endhomelessness.org after this segment. And as I said before, and I wish this part had actually been an interview like it should have been, think for yourself. Judge both sides of an issue and make the decision for yourself. As far as homelessness goes, yeah, there are good homeless and there are bad homeless. There are people that are struggling just to make ends meet. Ricky, who was my prior interview, very good individual actually. He's actually tried to, when I was struggling and trying to help my mother out, help me gather food, so to speak. He didn't have to, you know. And then there's bad homeless that they're just out there trying to get their drugs and their alcohol. But it's up to you to decide. Do you help one or do you help none? Because if you help one, you've got to help all. That's why I say as far as giving to an individual, maybe not. You know, unless you happen to know the individual and been around the individual for a while and you see they are trying. Or can you find various organizations actually trying to do something about this? That's what I'm hoping you're doing. Well, this is Josie James, and this is Thoughts on Homelessness. And I hope this has given you something to think about.
Who's thinking about you now? If you were building a wall, or who would tear it all down and pull you through? Or who's thinking about you? Who'd care enough to say